Rijo John is a health economist and adjunct professor at the Jazeera College of Social Sciences. Joins me now from Kochi in the southern state of Kerala. Nice to have you with us on the programme, sir. Two issues here, oxygen and vaccination. Let's just begin with oxygen to start with and its availability in the state where you are in the south. What is the position so far?
Well, Kerala, where the state I come from, is perhaps probably the only state in the country which is having a surplus of oxygen. In fact, almost all the other states are having high deficiency in oxygen. But the government actually says that there is a good amount of oxygen, but the main problem is in terms of logistics in making this available in different parts of the country depending on the requirements. That has been the major logistical challenge as of now.
A great deal of focus has been made on the vaccine rollout and the availability, not just on the capital and across northern India, but also in the state of Maharashtra, north of where you are on the western coast. So how far has the state of Kerala gone to get all of its residents vaccinated?
Well, Kerala is actually among one of the states which is well ahead in terms of vaccinating. It has so far been able to vaccinate about 17% of all its population so far, when the country's average is still less than 10%. But there are more populated states like Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, which is still have vaccinated only less than 5% of the population with a single dose. Unfortunately, in India, the daily doses that are being administered has been on a decline for the last 2-3 weeks. It's daily at around 2.4 million doses are administered on a daily basis right now. It sort of fell from about 3.7 million a couple of weeks back. So the pace is slowing down for the vaccination, and tomorrow the country is opening up to vaccinate all the 18 plus. And clearly there is a severe shortage and the demand is far exceeding. So far, India has vaccinated about 150 million doses have been administered so far. But unfortunately, that has only covered 2.7% of the adult population fully with 2 doses each.
Indeed.
And about 12% of the population with a single dose.
Sorry to jump in there. Huge figures, obviously, that you're quoting. And of course, for our international viewers, they are being focused on certain states, like, as I say, the state of Delhi itself, a capital region, Maharashtra, yourself, Kerala in the south, a big tourist area, a big population, very well-educated population. In terms of the rollout on Saturday for over 18s, to your understanding and the contacts that you have within your state, is there enough vaccine for the moment, or will Kerala have a problem vaccinating the over 18s as well?
Well, definitely not immediately. Because I myself was one of those from the last lot, below 45 years old. So I was also scheduled to be vaccinated in this new phase, but I couldn't find I couldn't schedule a slot for myself. And in fact, I don't see a slot for vaccination that I can schedule even for the next 2 months' time. So there's no question of people who are just above 18 and beginning to register now being able to find a slot for vaccination anywhere in the immediate future, even in Kerala.
I know
because
Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Please finish.
Yeah, so I meant to say that the demand is so far exceeding the supply at the moment, and the states are in a position to now having to negotiate the deals with these vaccine suppliers, and even to the extent of taking their own steps to import vaccinations from other countries so that they can facilitate this drive for a further reach for a wider population.
I do appreciate that you're not a politician, but in these last few days, we've seen a great deal of the general public across India and beyond blaming one party or another for not being able to support the public in both oxygen availability and vaccine availability. Where do you, or could you, place the blame anywhere on state or federal government, central government, the health ministry? Somebody is not doing their job properly in India and hundreds of thousands of people are dying.
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer. Actually, clearly the state has not prepared well enough. I say that India was lucky enough to have a second wave, which was delayed compared to many other countries out there, and we had a relatively long time to see what has happened to the rest of the world in terms of how severe the second wave was. And unfortunately, as a public health researcher, I sort of failed to see the kind of preparation that I was expecting that the government would be doing in the last 1 year. And the federal government, I believe, really, I mean, a lot of infrastructure could have been built up, and a lot of testing facilities could have been ramped up, testing could have been ramped up, and vaccination drive could have been ramped up much more. But it's been quite poor in terms of we've been lagging quite behind in terms of building the sufficient infrastructure to deal with. And our testing still lags. It's still lagging behind, and the daily growth of cases are much faster than the daily growth of testing at the moment.
Sure.
And the vaccination is far from any ideal scenario out there. So yeah, it's an unfortunate situation there. I mean, who do you want to blame? Everybody is responsible. I mean, not just the federal government, but also state governments are also responsible to an extent.
Indeed. Difficult times for India. Hopefully it'll get better in the coming days. Rijo John there, joining us from Kochi in the state of Kerala in southern India. Thanks for your time, sir.
Thank you.